All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video. I will propose to my girlfriend eventually, but she seems really hurt that it hasn't happened already. Did I F up here? My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 5 years now. We bought a house together 2 years ago, and we share a dog together. Our plan is to first get settled into our house before getting engaged, and now that 2 years have passed, she's started to express more and more a desire to be engaged and to move on to the next chapter of our lives. I'm confident that she's the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, but I guess I just don't see the big deal in getting engaged or married right away. I also think there is more growing we need to do individually and as a couple before we take that leap. For context, I have already been married and divorced once before. My parents got divorced when I was younger too. A couple of my friends have also gotten divorced in recent years as well. It came up again a few weeks ago as we're closing in on the second year in our house, and my girlfriend is upset that we haven't made any progress on the engagement. I feel this is slightly unfair, as she is now planning on getting me an engagement ring and proposing to me, and we have discussed plans for that. She explained that she would no longer bring up an engagement at all, as she believes we'll never progress further in our relationship. We got into an argument where we both said things that we didn't mean, though we later apologized and made up. Ever since, though, she's been really quiet and just not her usual self. She says that nothing is wrong when I ask. She's still present with me and keeping up with her work, hobbies, etc., but she's definitely not as proactively affectionate, and sex has been pretty much taken off the table. I know that this is related to the fight we had, but we apologized to each other, so I'm not sure what else to do. Few response from the community. Response 1. I don't understand. If you are confident she's the person you want to be with for the rest of your life, it's not a big deal to you, and it's very important to her, then why don't you propose? Answer: because you don't want to get married. Let this woman go. She deserves better than to be strung along by you in her prime. Response 2. If I was your girlfriend in this exact situation and I ended up leaving and we were together the same amount of time and I was 29. We also had a house together for 2-ish years. It kept feeling like my partner was moving the goalposts for what we had to achieve to get engaged. First it was when we get a house, then when we get settled into the house, etc. He was also traditional and would want to be the one to propose. So I was just stuck wanting to take that next step forward while it seemed like he cared about anything else but progressing our relationship. It genuinely felt like he didn't want to get married, so I did what I thought was best for me, as marriage was a deal breaker, and left the relationship. It was such a hard decision to make, but I also had the weight of being a woman on my shoulders. I'd like to be married and then have kids after. My partner seemed like he wasn't willing to take the next step or happy dragging his feet, while all I felt was the pressure of time and the feeling of not being enough to marry. Make your decision on what you want and let her know. She's made it clear what she wants, and after 5 years you are either on board or not. Response 3. Bro, at least among internet strangers you can be honest. You don't want to marry this woman, and in your eyes, you don't have any reason to, because all of your needs are being met. You are comfortable, you have easy access to regular sex. She probably contributes to a lot of the housework, and you have access to a dual income that allowed you to purchase a house, I'm guessing, that would have been much harder to purchase on your own. You're good and don't have a strong desire to move forward, but you don't want to lose your comfortable life, so you slow play this by stringing her along with just enough to feel like you are making progress and moving forward as a couple when you aren't. She complains, so you agree to get a dog. A few years later she complains again, so you agree to move in together. She complains again, so you agree to buy a house. And now, despite being together for half of a fucking decade and being willing to tie yourself to her financially for 30 years, you still aren't sure if you are ready to marry her. Come on, bro, you don't need advice. What you need to do is be honest with yourself and her and end this farce so she can find a man who actually does love her, wants a future with her, and to have children with her before it's too late. She's saying that she won't bring up getting engaged anymore. That was her accepting the reality that you don't want to marry her. And before you get mad and want to buck back at me in the comments, your actions are not how someone reacts to things they are excited to do. If you had a favorite band you were excited to go see live, you wouldn't take this lackadaisical attitude towards seeing them. You go and look at ticket prices, see if they are coming to your city, and if not, how close to the nearest city. Look at plane tickets, hotels, and make a plan. But 5 years, 1 house, and 1 dog into this relationship, and you have literally 0 concrete steps towards what needs to happen to move forward to getting engaged and married, or a concrete time frame it needs to happen in. Do you need to make more money or get a promotion? Is it going to happen in the next 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years? Nope. Just, and I quote you here, there is more growing we need to do individually and as a couple before we take that leap. What the fuck does that even mean? And by the way, just so you know, for the next girl you trap into dating, you once set this poor woman free. 5 years of dating and a 30-year mortgage isn't right away. You don't want to marry her. End it. Response 4. This is the perfect example of if he wanted to, he would. If you wanted to be with her forever, you would marry her. She's probably figured this out and is planning her exit. The fact that she's not trying to convince you anymore means she's done. If you really care about this woman and don't want to lose her, you'll buy a ring today. Don't be surprised if you come home one day and she isn't there. Any day now, bud. Response 5. Dude, just let her go. You have a house, a dog, and half a decade together. My ex did exactly what you're doing, except we didn't have a house, thankfully. After about 3 years, I started talking about marriage with him and he said he wanted it too, but there was always a reason to move the goalpost, and it was usually something to do with personal growth. After 8 years and no actual commitment to our relationship, I left him. I grieved, and not long after that I met my perfect match with a man that makes every effort for us, and it was strange to get used to. I thought I knew what a loving and abundant relationship was with my ex. He doesn't even compare to my fiancé. That's your future with your current on-call girlfriend. You will always have the perfect excuse to not move forward when it comes to personal growth. Reality is, personal growth never has a destination or a good enough point. You are constantly evolving till you die. Be real with her. Just say you don't want to marry her. Let her find someone that actually wants the same level of commitment as her and quit wasting her life on your selfishness.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.